Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this gaming test video. So we got Rocket League today, our second game to test on this laptop. So this does have a Ryzen 3 3250U with 2GB of dedicated GPU memory. And it does have, 3GB of RAM available at 2400 MHz. So for the first test, I went with 720p. So this is against the AI. I wanted to do a little warm up first, kind of figure out the controls. I have played this game before. It's a great game, but on console. So against the AI, it was running at about 46, 47 FPS. You can see the RAM usage about 76%, and GPU is about a little bit over a gig. So it handled it really well against the AI. So it's a 4x4, 4 versus 4 basically. CPU was about 30s and 40%. So I felt like it handled it really well. Keep in mind, this laptop does have a 5400 RPM hard drive. So when I was trying to install, the games that people were requesting, it took a lot longer than the usual because of the mechanical hard drive. In my opinion, it's a little bit slow. In terms of gameplay, I don't think the hard drive affected the gameplay at all. Felt like it was pretty smooth. VSync was off and everything was pretty much checked. But I do have to say, I really want to upgrade this laptop, but I know people wanted to want me to test this laptop as stock, so I'm going to try probably a couple more games, and then I'll run some upgrades on it. So for this first test against the AI, I did lose. The AI was pretty good. I might have underestimated them. So the next test, 720p still, but this time against players online. So I do have to say the 720p was awesome. Motion blur is on, anti-aliasing was off, render quality was quality, and texture detail was on performance. So we did win just because my teammates were so good. I can barely hit the ball. What I was trying to do was just do demolition and destroy other opponents' cars, I guess. That's the best thing I could do because it was really tough. I mean, these guys are pretty good. Luckily, my teammates were just super duper good. As you can see here on the replay. So FPS, you're looking at 46, and RAM was about steady at 70%, 73, 74. GPU is a little bit over a gig, and okay, one thing I did notice, playing against players online, the CPU is being worked a lot more, like 80s and 90s, even close to 100. So overall, like I said, I think it still handled it pretty well. So this is a 4x4, so 4 versus 4 at 720p. Not bad at all, in my opinion. I think if you want to work the CPU a lot less, you could just uncheck a bunch of options. So later in another test, I'm going to show you guys that I did uncheck a bunch of the options, and I don't think it made much of a difference, to be honest, but you never know. So the next test, I went with 1080p, of course. Full screen, everything is still checked. Texture detail was on performance. Render quality was on quality, I guess. So that is kind of weird, but it is what it is. So 1080p VSync was off. FPS definitely took a drop at 1080p at 25. 25. And RAM usage, you know what's weird though? The RAM usage on this was 63%, 3.7 gigabytes. Earlier it was like 70-ish%. So I'm actually surprised by that. GPU, you're looking at 59%, and CPU was 30-ish%. So I don't know what really changed in terms of the settings there, but CPU is being worked a lot less. So this is 4 versus 4 again against players. So for some reason, at 1080p, the CPU wasn't being worked as hard. So I'm not too sure what was going on there, but I don't know. It just seemed a little inconsistent to me, but in my opinion, it could be maybe the hard drive reads, but I could be wrong too. Either way, fun game. We did lose, as you can see right here, but 1080p, I can definitely notice a big difference in terms of the graphics. In my opinion, 1080p is perfect for this game. Yeah, the RAM usage, it was less at 1080p for some reason. Even CPU. So weird. That is so weird. Maybe, I'm thinking that maybe the computer might like it at 1080p, I guess. So that was a little bit odd. Or it could be the environment of where we were playing at Rocket League. But you can see here it's like 29, 30% for the CPU. So that was totally odd. But whatever. So the last test I did 1600 by 900. Render details on performance and render quality is on quality. But notice that I unchecked a bunch of stuff. You know, like the high quality shadows was unchecked, stuff like that. VSync was off, but you're gonna notice FPS improved just a little bit compared to the 1080p. And what's weird is the CPU, it's around the same as the 1080p one, and GPU is 61%. RAM was actually the same as before, so around 3.7 gigabytes of RAM usage. So in my opinion, I would just avoid 720p and just go with 1080p or 1600 by 900, just based on this test, which is totally odd. Like I said, it could be the stage. Maybe the stage made a difference, but you know, the jump in graphics from 720 to 1080p or 1600 by 900, you can definitely notice it. Nevertheless, super duper fun game. Really enjoyed playing. You know, I really wanted to play some more since we also lost this game, but you know, I figured gotta get to work on this video, and I will try to do a variety of games. I know some videos were requesting FIFA 2020, but it wasn't available on Steam. There is a FIFA 2021 available in October, I guess, but also somebody was requesting Sea of Thieves as well. But I know there were a couple more games that people want me to test on this laptop before I run upgrades. I think one of them was GTA 5 and one was Fortnite. So I do have Fortnite installed. I'll try to get that out in a couple of days. Also the CPU comparison, I even plan to do a CPU upgrade. So a lot of things in the works here. I'm just kind of busy with work and stuff, but FPS, you're looking at 35, 33 at 1600 by 900. And CPU handled it like a champ. I don't know if why the CPU wasn't doing so well at 720p. Maybe it didn't like, you know, or like I said, it could be the stage. But we did lose again. So I was just trying to do demolition on other players' cars. Super duper fun game. Shout out to the person in the comments that recommended this game. It is a classic. Playing it on PC, definitely looks more competitive than it is on console. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Take it easy.